The Settlers' New Allies is out now, resurrecting and revitalizing the series after a 13-year absence with a new, modern take on its classic real-time strategy formula. And whether you're building your first settlements in its 13-mission campaign or testing the waters in PvP, you might notice a key difference from other build-up strategy games you might have played, something that seems small and insignificant, but is in fact the beating heart of the Settlers' New Allies. The Settlers' New Allies gives you soldiers to do your fighting and engineers to do just about everything else, but there's a third kind of unit that's so important you won't even control them directly. Carriers are your rank-and-file citizens. They have a constant presence in the world and make your settlements lively by bustling around and automatically doing various chores, but they're not just for show. Each carrier works to ferry resources from mines, logging camps, and other harvesting operations to your warehouse, and again from your warehouse to construction sites when you're ready to build. You can watch the movements of these goods by clicking on buildings or projects that are linked to them, and if you upgrade your settlement with stone roads, your carriers will be able to move them around even faster. So if it feels like something's taking a while to build, look around your settlement. Your latest work orders might have caused a traffic jam. Carriers are the backbone of your settlement, and each one is a link in a chain from the first resources you harvest to the army you'll build to push back your enemies. The more carriers you can attract by building residences, the more efficiently you can produce resources because carriers are also the building blocks of your settlement. If 2 people are needed to work a stone quarry, for example, 2 of your carriers will stop carrying and permanently take those jobs. And if you want to train a more specialized unit, you'll lose another carrier as they step into their new role. For example, carriers wouldn't have anywhere to go if you didn't turn the wood and stone they gather into hammers, and use those hammers to turn some of them into engineers. Engineers can construct buildings, survey mineral fields to find mining deposits, or expand your borders to give you more space to grow. They can also interact with landmarks like collapsed mines and witches' huts, which yield useful resources to the first player who reaches them. Your engineers can also build decoys and defensive towers to protect your settlements from attack, but otherwise they're easy prey for enemies unless accompanied by soldiers, who can also be recruited from carriers once you've mined and processed enough iron and coal to make shields, bows, and axes. These in turn produce guardians, rangers, and warriors, respectively, and each faction also has a unique unit with special abilities which can be recruited with gold to give your armies an edge in battle. Just realize that every troop or engineer you create means one less carrier on the roads, so make sure you keep your population up so you don't run the risk of slowing down your economy. Your resources can also give you an edge via the Academy, where you can use them to fuel research into faster engineers, tougher troops, and better defensive structures, among other perks. Each Academy has protection and crafting research trees with the option to add a specialized administrative tree geared towards settlement defense, claiming and holding territory, or offensive power. So if you've got the time and deep enough pockets, you may even want to build one of each. The Settlers' New Allies lets players pick between 3 factions, and the campaign's 13 missions will give you a chance to see what all 3 are capable of. The story centers on the Alari, a faction of hardy crafters and builders out to find a new home after fleeing a civil war, but you'll also have a chance to play as their new allies, the nature-loving Maru and the battle-hardened Viking-like Yorn, each with their own perks and distinct units. This in turn will prep you for skirmish mode, where you can pick any faction and test your construction, economic, and martial skills in 1v1, 2v2, and 4v4 matches against human or AI opponents across 13 PvP maps. You can usually win these matches by quickly building up your army and steamrolling enemy settlements, but that's not always the best path to victory. Sometimes, for example, you can beat your opponents by hitting a production quota before they do. Players looking for a more curated challenge can also check out Hardcore Mode, a series of handcrafted, high-difficulty scenarios that rotate out on a weekly basis and push players to think fast to defend against aggressive enemies and tight time limits, usually while at a disadvantage, like fighting 2 factions with no allies. The Settlers' New Allies is out on PC, and in a series first, it's on its way to consoles as well. On March 23rd, Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and Amazon Luna players can dig into the game with console controls, crossplay, and backwards compatibility on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Pre-orders are available now, except on Switch, which opens pre-orders starting March 15th. For more on the Settlers' New Allies and all things Ubisoft, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.